Do I really have to make this joke? I'm going to anyways.
'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. Hey!
Hello and welcome to 50's Thoughts. So, we're late with another episode. Good for us. But hey, at least we have a DC animated film to review. Now, I've been really excited for this one. So I haven't really gone to watch the prequel to it, which was Batman vs. Robin. So, if there's something that I don't understand or something that affects this story that I didn't know because I didn't watch the prequel, please, without spoilers, let me know in the comments. But because I'm kind of excited to kind of jump right into this one, let's just do it. Let's just jump right into Batman Bad Blood and see how well it does. Our movie starts off with a member of Black Mask's gang being interrogated by high-tech criminals. What we think is Batman enters the scene and takes on the criminals, but we learn here that it isn't Batman, but Batwoman. I'm just gonna warn you ahead of time, my only reference for this character is that movie, so yeah. We get a pretty cool fight scene between Batwoman and the Electrocutioner from Arkham Origins before Batman swoops in to fight off Killer Moth, Firefly, and the other two guys. Look, I'm not a Batman encyclopedia. I don't know all of his allies and I don't know all of his foes. But I should be getting something soon that should help me with that problem. We see that this was a trap and that the head honcho of this group is none other than... Since I don't know this character, I'm just gonna throw these ideas up there. While trying to save Batwoman, Batman is killed in an explosion and it leads us to our opening credits. Ah, I see where we're going with the Dick Grayson taking over for Bruce when Bruce disappears for a while arc. What? You thought I was just gonna go ballistic because they killed Batman off? Please, you and I both know that they are never gonna kill Bruce Wayne off unless they want to feel my wrath. When we return from the opening title sequence, we focus on a temple where Damian Wayne finds out about his father's disappearance and decides to head back to Gotham. Now, I don't know that much about Damian Wayne, so this is kind of my first impressions of him. Let's see if he lives up to the expectations that the internet has put out for me. Which, if you can't tell by my voice, they're pretty low. We see Nightwing in the field talking to Starfire over the phone and battling Blockbuster at the same time. When he defeats Blockbuster, he explains to her that there has been a family emergency and heads back to the Batcave. Alfred has been covering for Bruce through the Batcave's computer systems, and he catches Dick up to speed on what's going on. Meanwhile, we meet Lucius Fox's son, Luke. I'm assuming that is Batwing, and if that is Batwing, isn't it kind of weird to anyone else that he kind of just ripped off the name of his superhero character from one of Bruce's many Bat vehicles? I mean, sure, some people may call it the Bat Plane, but I have always been calling it the Batwing. Lucius is trying to have Luke join Wayne Industries, but Luke decides that he wants to follow his own path. We then cut to a diner where we see Batwoman speaking with her father about what happened in the opening sequence and how she feels guilty about it. When the bat signal goes off, an interesting thing occurs. The Batmobile shows up and Batwoman decides to move out and investigate. At the docks, we see Black Mask gearing up to take out a fellow gang, but a Batman voice can be heard from the shadows.
Which makes you mine, Mask.
Now, you may be wondering why Dick Grayson's doing the Christian Bale Batman voice here. And that's because in the comics, he kind of saw being Batman as kind of a performance. He wanted to make it his own portrayal of Batman, but he didn't want to be exactly Bruce's Batman. He felt like he could never really live up to Bruce's Batman. And he didn't really want to be Bruce's Batman, but again, that's why he does the voice. That's why he kind of puts on a little show for everyone. And that's actually probably where the Christian Bale Batman got their idea for the voice for. We see Dick Grayson's Batman in action, and right when Black Mask thinks he has him outnumbered, we see Damian Wayne jump in as Robin. Damian and Dick wrap up the fight, and Damian knows right off the bat, no pun intended, that the Batman is actually Dick Grayson. When the two head into the Batmobile and drive away from the scene, they notice that Batwoman is chasing them and try to lose her. They end up stopping her and asking her why she was following them. And during that moment, she realized that Nightwing is portraying Batman as well. Okay, Damian Wayne I can understand. But Batwoman? She's only met Batman once, and I don't think she's even met Nightwing yet. So how does she know who he is? Batwoman explains how Batman died and takes Nightwing and Robin to the explosion site. Nightwing extends his hand to Batwoman to see if they can work together on finding whoever was behind Batman's death, and she refuses.
Just because I wear this doesn't mean I'm a part of your little cult.
Whoa, 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 whoa. The Bat family is not a cult, and even if you think it's a cult and didn't want to be associated with that cult, then why did you put the Bat logo on your chest? Nightwing and Robin return to the Batmobile, where Damian starts questioning Grayson on if he thinks Batman is dead and whether he wants him to be dead. So there's that Damian Wayne charm I've been hearing so much about. You know, Bruce practically raised Dick, right? And the last time I checked, you were off with Talia, so that means that... Oh, Bruce has been more of a father to Dick than you. So you saying this makes no sense. It would make more sense if Dick was saying this stuff to you. Dick and Damian are interrupted by Alfred, and he explains to the audience who Batwoman is. We then cut to the next night, where Batwoman gets information about the man who killed Batman from her father. Apparently his name was Heretic, and he seems to be the new Batman-fixated crime boss that is sweeping the streets of Gotham. This isn't enough for her to go by, and she says that she has to do this alone. You know, for someone that doesn't want to be a part of this, as you put it in your own words, Bat cult, you really do act a lot like Batman did within his first year. My theory? You're a fangirl that did a lot of research and wants to get into the cool crowd, so you're acting like the cool crowd isn't actually that cool. We then cut to Wayne Industries, where Luke and Lucius meet. Luke catches on to the Wayne Industries and Batman connection, and Wayne Industries gets attacked by Heretic and his gang. Lucius sends out a security warning to the new dynamic duo to come to the rescue. We also get to see some of Luke's military training in action as he tries to defend himself and his father from being killed. Which is cool until Heretic stops him and has Lucius open the vault that contains most of the Batman vehicles and gadgetry. Heretic grabs what he needs and kills Lucius Fox. Huh. Didn't see that coming. Well, at least it wasn't the Morgan Freeman version, since then this scene would have just been devastating. Dick and Damian finally show up and get into the fray. But when the electrocutioner is trying to kill Robin, Heretic ends up killing him, sparing the boy. Oh, come on, give the electrocutioner a break. He didn't even survive Arkham Origins. Also, too, is it just me, or does it seem like there's a lot of death in this movie for a Batman film? I mean, Bruce technically dies within the first 5 minutes, Lucius technically dies within the first 20 minutes, and Electrocutioner dies within the first 30 minutes. That's a death every 10 minutes. And we still have 40 minutes left of the film, which really makes me worried at this point. Damian then chases after them, but they end up escaping. We then see Bruce tied up to a machine being ran by the Mad Hatter, who is also working for Heretic. Alright, this is where I have a legitimate problem with this movie, because 6 to 7 bad guys now know that Batman is Bruce Wayne. How are you going to address this? Are their minds magically going to be wiped, or are you going to go off and do the killing thing that you've been doing for the past 30 minutes? Or are you just going to leave them with this memory of Bruce's identity in their minds? If it's the last two options, then DC, we have a problem, and this film just went from mediocre to just plain bad. Oh, and get this. Talia is now the main bad guy, not Heretic. She is here to break Bruce through his memories, so they can use him for their own means. Heretic says that they should grab Damien as well, but Talia isn't down for that. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, we see that Lucius is stable for now, and Grayson pays Luke a visit. Luke decides that now he wants to join the Bat family as the Batwing. Dick denies him of this, but we all know that won't stop him. Dick picks up Batwoman and they go out on patrol, and we learn more of Batwoman's backstory. Pretty much she became the Batwoman, that way she wouldn't be a damsel in distress type, and to save the people from the animals that killed her mother and sister. Okay, again, I've mentioned it before, my knowledge of Batwoman is very different from what this film is giving off. But from my standpoint, her origin is okay. It's not the greatest, but it is really hard to come up with Batman sidekick stories that isn't, oh, my parents died. Back at the Batcave, Damien decides to leave, but Heretic drugs him. A fight ensues, and Damien loses within 15 seconds. Great job of throwing in a scene that could have waited, guys. I mean, you literally went from the last scene to this scene and back to last scene. This is reminding me so much of Batman Unlimited Monster Mayhem. It's not even funny. Dick shares what it was like to be Batman's ward with Batwoman before we cut to Luke breaking into the vault and putting on the Batwing armor in a very Iron Man style. Okay, the music in this scene is great, even though everything else is kind of an Iron Man ripoff. And again, I don't blame them, since it's kind of hard at this point to not do something that feels like it's been done before. Dick gets word of Damien's disappearance, and we cut to Talia's base of operations, where Damien and Bruce are being held. And get this, Heretic is Damian Wayne. The way the movie explains this is that Roz decided to create a program to create growth-accelerated clones of Damian Wayne in order to make the ultimate soldier. Cloning? Really? You know how cliched that is now? Also too, how am I supposed to believe that this whiny little brat is going to turn into a almost cool Batman villain? The reason why Heretic wanted to capture Damian Wayne is to place all of Damian's memories inside of his head so he could feel whole again. Talia barges in and kills Heretic. Well, that proves it. This movie has a death/death fake-out scene every 10 minutes. Great job, movie. Really proud of you. Dick and Batwoman track down Damien through a tracer that Alfred put into Damien's suit, and heads towards Castle Al Ghul, which is defended by machine gun-wielding nuns. Since when was this Saints Row? Anyways, we have a fight sequence against the horribly puniful named Nunjas, and when Firefly comes to defend the fort, we see Batwing join the fight. Talia decides to retreat when the Bat family arrives, and Damien tries to escape. When he does escape, he frees his father. Batwoman and Dick move the fight into the facility and takes on more of the goons from before, while the castle crashes down around them. Dick finds Batman and Damien and escorts them out. When the building collapses around them, Batwing comes to their rescue and pulls them all out. Bruce then rejects Batwoman and Batwing and says that he has all the help that he needs. He isn't wrong, but that still is kind of rude. I mean, they just saved your ass and now you're gonna treat him like crap? I know he's done this in the past, but still, you feel like he would have grown out of this phase by now. Back at the Batcave, Bruce hops back on the horse and reprimands Dick for letting them get involved. But Alfred backs up Dick, saying that he did the right thing. Bruce doesn't care about this and just says that Dick isn't in charge anymore. He is. Dick talks to Batwoman about Bruce's decision, followed by Batwoman's father trying to kill her. Well, that was a pointless action sequence. Also, why did she have to be in her underwear for the scene? Couldn't you have just closed her robe? During one of Bruce's many press conferences, we see that Talia's gang of supercriminals infiltrate the facility. But it isn't a facility. It's supposed to be the Watchtower. Meh. I like the Justice League Unlimited Watchtower better. The supercriminals start using Wayne's new translator technology to mind control everyone aboard the Watchtower. And we also learn that Batwoman's father was also mind controlled to kill her. They believe that They may have also mind-controlled Bruce in order to get the information about the vault, watchtower, and the chip that Batwoman was holding on to. A chip that has a list of all the VIPs who are currently on the watchtower.
You know, this scene wouldn't be as confusing if they weren't trying to connect everything together in the last 20 minutes. Where was this throughout the film?
Tetch starts his mind control process and the new Bat family skydives their way into the watchtower. They are discovered and another fight scene ensues. And yes, since Bruce is mind controlled, we do have a fight scene between Batman and Nightwing. During this, however, Alfred becomes the main hero by trying to stop the broadcast. During his fight with Firefly, Batwing accidentally kills him by having him fly into the engine of the watchtower, causing the engine to explode and the watchtower to head towards the city.
The last couple minutes are mainly fight scenes, so I'll try to summarize this to the best of my ability.
Alfred ends up killing the Mad Hatter, stopping the broadcast. Batwing and Robin stop the watchtower from crashing into Wayne Enterprises. Nightwing talks Bruce out of killing him and Damian Wayne. Then he saves Dick from getting his head chopped off by Talia, and Talia escapes only to be killed by Heretic's sidekick.
Well, if I had to describe this movie in one word, it would definitely be disappointing.
The music is very good in this film, but everything else is just disappointing. The animation doesn't seem to be on par in some moments, the pacing seems off, and most of the problems in this movie are solved through death. I honestly don't believe that any member of the villain's crew made it out of this movie alive, and some of them, such as Mad Hatter and Talia, died in poor taste. Many of the deaths in this movie feel like they could have been removed and the story still would have worked just with a little bit of tweaking. If they made it so Talia was controlling most of the goons through Tetch's mind control, we would have solved the problem of everyone knowing Bruce's identity better than just straight up killing them. In the end, the only death/death fake-outs I agree with is Bruce, Electrocutioners, and Lucius Fox's. Bruce had to be the catalyst for this whole movie to take motion, and Lucius had to be the catalyst for Luke's character to become Batwing. Now, for Electrocutioner, it makes sense with Heretic's backstory, but that's another thing I have to mention. Heretic's backstory is so cliched and god-awful. I was so interested in seeing what he would become, and for it to just be a clone is almost as saddening as figuring out that Boba Fett was a clone. If they had focused on working up his character, I think he could have been really interesting. But that will never be touched on again since they ended up killing him and making someone who could have been so cool completely pointless. Also, what's with that clone thing? It seems like they're setting it up for a sequel because as soon as they mention it, they just totally forget about it for the rest of the movie. And while we are on new characters, let's talk about Batwing, Batwoman, and for me, Damian Wayne. Batwing could have honestly been cut out of this whole script since most of the time is focused on Batwoman, and even then she felt very generic for a Batman sidekick. Like I said, I don't hold this against them, but it really does show how much these characters aren't truly needed. And I see now why Damian Wayne is considered one of the worst Robins. His disrespect for the other Bat family members really got on my nerves, as well as his arrogance. If he gets turned into a villain in the future, similar to how Jason Todd was, I wouldn't be shocked one bit. For someone who just wants to watch a Batman flick, it's mediocre at best. But fans of Batman and his cast of villains will be very disappointed. With a heavy heart, I have to give this film a 2 out of 5 stars.
Even though this movie may have some bad blood with me, I do believe that the new 52 Batgirl movie that they were kind of teasing at the end there, and the Killing Joke movie will be really good. I mean, think about it. We have Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, and Tara Strong returning for that movie to their roles that they had in the animated series. That is going to be good. And that, my friends, is the end of today's episode. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, stay frosty.